Hello and welcome to our episode of Firehouse Table and a discussion of the latest policies that are being placed into the policy manual. We've had many requests regarding these two policies, the Family Medical Leave Act and our new social media policy. These two policies are perhaps two of the most asked about issues we have in our department. The FMLA policy allows you to take off work for up to 12 weeks to take care of a sick family member. The social media policy, always a touchy one, but with the problems of our society faces today, we need to make sure everybody understands the policy. The Family Medical Leave Act allows employees to take up to 12 weeks of leave, paid or unpaid, for a medical event. Sickness of an immediate family member, your spouse, your parent, or your child. The birth of adoption of a child, or an activation of a family member to military duty. And care of that person, of that military member in service. You're allowed 12 weeks off in a rolling 12-month period, provided you have worked a minimum of 1,250 hours in the previous 12 months. You got to request it 30 days in advance. Unless it's sudden, then you have to provide a medical certificate as soon as possible. The town can challenge at their cost your reason for your leave, but it's at their cost. If you're unhappy with the challenge, you can request a third challenge at the town's cost, but that challenge is final. When you return, you must produce a medical note stating that you are released to duty with no restrictions. But if you fail to come back to work, you will be retired. The benefits will be retroactive to your last day of work or your last paid day off. You can use your accrued time if you choose, so that's why it's always good to keep your accrued time high. If you choose to accept unpaid leave but wish to keep your insurance, you must submit a check to the town for the cost by the 1st of every month. Now, with accrual time, do I keep my accrual time? You can keep it as long as you are being paid. As soon as you go off payroll, your accrual vacation and sick time stops. Many have also talked about taking FMLA for in-laws or other siblings. It's not allowed. It is only for your spouse, your parent, or your child. If you have any more questions about FMLA, please let your officer know, or me. We can direct you to Human Resources if we don't have the correct answers. How about social media now? We all love our social media. We have our favorite blogs, videos, and channels. We must realize that every time we get on social media, we create a permanent piece of data that can be used against us or our families. If you have anything to do with the department or where you work on your page, you're an official representative of the department in all things you do, even if you don't mean it. So if you have some great pics of you in the rig and uniform in one post, and then next, you and your buddy slamming beers at the golf course, people think that's what we all do and that we condone the drunkenness. We may comment on somebody else's post about that event that has already happened, and then that comment be taken as non-caring or even callous, even though you were trying to be supportive. The use of any item that holds departmental insignia or seal, you can't have it on your account. It's prohibited. There will be no posting of any clip traveling to, returning from, or on the scene of any incident. We are there to support those in a time of need, not to showboat or make ourselves look good. If you post images or clips from a scene or encounter with the public, you may also have your device confiscated due to an ongoing criminal investigation. I know you're saying you can't take my device, but if the images are deemed necessary for any investigation, a search warrant can be requested and a device confiscated. If you're an officer receiving a stipend, make sure you keep their phone clean, because of Freedom of Information or Open Records Acts, your content may be visible to anybody who requests you. Now, I know many of you feel that the First Amendment protects your rights of freedom of speech, but there are 3 different tests you have to go to, with the Pickering balance test being the big test. That test weighs the comments made by the firefighter are of larger social importance than the comments weighed against the need for a disruptive workplace. Thank you for watching this week's Firehouse Table episode, and I hope I was able to assist you in understanding the need for these new policies and how they work for your benefit. If you still have any questions, please feel free to let your officer or myself know, and we can assist you in any questions you may have. And thank you for protecting what matters most in Atoka.